Hey guys, welcome back into another episode of Slightly Serious.
I'm Nick.
I'm Zane, and we're back.
We are.
We are back again. Dude, how are you doing?
Again.
It is day of recording, Cinco de Mayo,
It is Cinco de Mayo.
which means everyone needs to go buy 5 cartons of mayonnaise, right? That's what it means?
It's something. I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5 cartons.
Did you get any of the
The
water
Cinco's
in the
5.
sink, my dude?
Hmm?
You got water like dripping
Yeah.
down
So
your
here's the
fucking-
thing about this. Your sink attacked me, and that's all I want to say about it.
It's dripping down. It's like all over your
I
shit.
came right from the bathroom. I went in there. As you can see, I dove head first into the sink, and this is the result. Get what you pay for.
So, what
This
the
is
fuck?
not a substantial property. The value here is not. It's just not there,
How you doing today, brother?
dude. I'm all right.
Doing good?
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit better headspace than last week.
Well,
I know there's some stuff going on. We
Yeah.
won't get too much into it
A lot-
this week
a
because
lot,
we talked about it last week. But
yeah, a lot's occurred, but I've definitely a better headspace. Better headspace for sure.
better headspace too.
A little spicy, a little spacey, a little everything. But I'm here.
Quick debate: best Gatorade flavor. What is it?
Well, I'm gonna have to say it's not lemon lime.
Then you're just wrong.
No, I'm correct on this, and it's so here's the deal. As you very well know, there's several different colors of blue. There's several different types of purple.
I don't. I'm colorblind.
Oh, he's colorblind. Well, he doesn't quite understand this, but there's 2 different types of
There's
blues
actually nothing in this
that
bottle.
I really know of, and one of them's like a glacier ice, and the other one's like a blue, darker blue.
There's nothing in this bottle. I'm just drinking air. Just,
Oh wow, it doesn't even show up. It doesn't show up on the green screen.
because it's green.
Well,
But I can also like just block
that's
my
actually
face and put
no
the
one.
back.
No one's gonna look at that and say that's a green Gatorade, Zane. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's close enough that the green screen's fucking seeing it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's yellow, actually. Believe it or not, that is a yellow Gatorade. Yeah,
It's close enough. The fucking green screen's confused.
Walmart. Probably got it at Walmart, I would imagine.
No,
No, where'd you go?
Dash Mart. I'm too lazy to go shop.
Dash Mart. This is new to me. What is that?
It's fucking DoorDash. You can buy groceries and have it delivered to your fucking house.
Oh, it's called Dash Mart.
Yeah, it's just like they have like a standalone store where they have like basic, like shit like this, snacks, fucking stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm lazy.
Well,
I was up fucking editing.
I don't know
earlier,
that you're lazy.
So I just ordered Gatorade, the water, my breakfast.
I did have the decency to shower though before I came over here because I
You said
would've been
you were
offended.
skating,
I was skating. You would have
so
been
you're
offended.
probably a sweaty boy.
It was pretty rough out there. Yeah.
Yeah. I went and got some new furniture, so that's still sitting in the truck.
Yeah, you're gonna probably want some help moving that in later, in which I will charge you nothing.
Good, because I have 2 Gatorades and a Liquid Death. That's my best. That's my best offer.
It's more than I've got, so I'll
All
take
right.
it.
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate you. Time and effort.
But no, it's been a busy week, but it's been a fun week.
You went on like a vacation or
Yeah,
something.
for once I went on a trip,
That's cool.
not just
Hocking
you.
Hills, right?
Yes, I went to Hocking Hills. It's in like the central eastern side of Ohio.
Of Africa. Oh, Africa.
I didn't leave the country, unfortunately.
It's in
But,
Ohio?
It's in Ohio. It's
Oh. So it's called Hocking Hills, like hawking a loogie. So you just like,
it's
what do you
Hocking
do?
Hills. It's a state park, so they got a lot of like hiking trails, cool like natural formations and stuff. So I went to a formation known as Old Man's Cave, and it's pretty much just like a giant canyon that's been carved out by this like stream, and it's like huge. Like when you're standing at the bottom, it's like 100 and something feet above you to like the upper edge, and then there's like trees growing on top of it. So like you feel small when you're down there. And they have like stairs that are carved like into the rock and through the rock and stuff. And it was just really cool. The weather was like perfect. It was like mid 70s, sunny. It wasn't humid. It was like the perfect weather to go hiking. I might throw up some pictures from the trip. I took some pictures while I was out there. It was just a really nice trip. And then we stayed in a cabin that was on the state park grounds.
They got some nice cabins there too.
Yeah, this one was nice, and it had like a hot tub that was like on a gazebo raised up, So you're like above the forest floor. But
So while you're in the hot tub, you can look out over the edge
over the
and
woods,
see,
and like at night, it's just
jeez.
dark. You just hear the trees and the whistle. We just had some music playing on a speaker.
Bro, that had to be dope.
Just chilling in the hot tub at like midnight.
So are there cabins like surrounding your cabin? Is there anything in visible distance? Or
From where we were, there was one cabin being built within view. Other than that, there was nothing else in sight. No cell service, or very little cell service. They had Wi-Fi there.
And there's probably very few people that live in those woods and wait out for people to get naked in that hot tub and watch you anyway. So most you got seen. I mean, by like 12 or 15 people.
You got to work. You got to work to get a good angle because we're up there, so you got to get above us, which is hard.
Yeah.
So if they put the effort in, then fucking more
they're
power.
They're called the Hocking Hill Dwellers, and they stay out there and they just catch the tourists, in the nude. It's just their thing.
Hell yeah! I usually charge for that.
We let them be.
It's good to do some charity work and give some nudes for free.
Yeah, but you've always been about charity.
It was a great time. So we saw some pretty cool things. I saw a couple snakes, which I love snakes. A lot of people don't like them.
You do, huh?
I do enjoy snakes. Always, my whole life. I was like one of my nicknames is my mom gave me as a child was Saint Peter, because the whole thing in like Ireland, apparently for his like the tale of Saint Peter was he like.
I thought that was rats. I thought he pied the rats or pied the piper or something like that.
I think it was snakes too.
Maybe I'm getting something confused here. Might have read Aesop's Fables wrong.
Yeah, Peter and the Snake.
Peter and the Snake. So what did he do with snakes?
Saint Patrick, not Peter. Patrick, sorry.
Okay. Saint Patrick taught all the school children. Is driving the snakes out of Ireland. Attacked by some serpents while undergoing a 40-day fast on a hill, he drove his staff into the ground and sent them and all other snakes.
I used to run around in our yard before we mowed and pick up all the gardener snakes and stuff. The garter snakes, and then I would carry them off into the field and let them go.
So I always thought they were called garden snakes. They're called garter snakes?
I believe they're called
garter. Like a garter belt? Because they're so thin, they would just go around the...
Oh, that's not what I tried to do.
Inseam of your thigh.
Garter. Yep.
Garter.
Garter snake.
A garter snake.
We'll just
common name for a small to medium-sized snakes, to the genus Thanaphis and family of Cordyceps.
Yep, just some little snake boys. But I used to go around catching them and then take them into like the field and let them go so they wouldn't get cut up by the lawnmower.
Well, fuck, man.
So my mom would always...
You're a savior of snakes, yeah.
And because I liked them. And then I worked at a summer camp after high school, and we had a snake at the camp that we kept. It was
what kind of snake was it?
It was a king. It was a king snake, and we called it Elvis the king.
A king snake. I can't think of what that would look like. I can't. Is it a big snake? Is it a little
decent.
snake?
Not like huge.
Nothing you'd put in your butt.
No. I try not to put too many snakes in my butt anyway.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
But I mean, they're decent. They don't get for too long. Like 60 inches is the longest, which for a snake is pretty average. But yeah, this was like about the coloring that they had. And it was just cool. And it was just, I was one of the few people that wasn't afraid of them. So I was the one who always got in charge of handling it to show like the campers and stuff at the camp.
They're just such sneaky fucks. And that's the thing about a snake.
The snake.
They've always been sneaky fucks since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that reminds me that rule number 2. In that book that you told me to read, is talking about Adam and Eve and the snake, and how the serpent was originally the thing that was like, hey, do you want this knowledge to know if you're inherent evil or good?
Yeah. So the second rule is that the take care of yourself.
Let's go to the book corner. Hey! So rule 2, in Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, which Zane has been he's been trying to get me to read this forever. Anyway, I finally have, and it has been a little bit of homework for me, and I had gotten through Rule 1 the last time we had spoken. This is Rule 2. And Rule 1, just as a reminder, was stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Yep.
Rule 2 is treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. I believe that's right. Is that the full? Did I say it correctly? I hope I fucking did. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Damn, I got it. All right. And in it, because Jordan B. Peterson, he's a psychotherapist? Is he a psychologist, psychiatrist? What is he?
What is he actually?
What's his whole gimmick? What's this guy up to? What's this guy's deal anyway? Let's pull him up here. Jordan B. Peterson is a Canadian clinical. Go back up.
I was going to
Oh.
Canadian psychologist, author, and media commentator.
So he's a psychologist.
Yep.
Being a psychologist and diving into the depths of this and everything, he does go into quite a bit of religion as well. He does. He goes into like the religious side of things and how there's more than just the original Christianity creation myth and whatnot, but in them, in the creation myths, the knowledge of good and evil, or self-awareness, or self-consciousness, or call it whatever you will, was originally delivered by a snake. Or not necessarily a snake. At one point, it was turned into a snake. It was walking on legs, and then it said, well, now you shall be a serpent and slither. And he went into...
snakes were before that event was different than what snakes are as they are today.
Yes.
Like originally they had legs and stuff, and then it was a punishment that like you will forever be, tread upon. And
you will forever be tread upon. And there's also that don't tread on me thing that, you know what I mean? So there's so much that goes into the snake, which is why I thought of that. But he also goes on to talk about like the aspect of man versus woman and how our knowledge of that is so inherent in us, of the difference between man and woman, which side topic nowadays is completely thrown around all over the place. But that's
a conversation for
off
a different
topic.
Day.
But that knowledge has been so inherent in us, is the gender opposition and whatnot, that he also goes in to talk about this, treat yourself as someone you are responsible for helping, as though like overall, man, woman, whatever it is, we are aware of our inherent good versus evil. And it's not even so much as that, as like we're aware of our own faults and the things that sort of like fuck us up about ourselves, if you will. And that being the case, we are sometimes, whether we're aware of it or not, less likely to take care of ourselves. But somehow, if we're responsible for helping another individual, be it a dog or just a pet in general, anything, elderly person, family, your kids, a close friend, you're more likely to take care of them in a fashion that, you'll go out of your way more to give them their dosage of medicine and properly take care of them to ensure their safety. Whereas you'll very often skip your own dose of medicine, or just kind of neglect your own health, or just go, I can deal with that. You know what I mean? But it's like it's almost like you feel like you deserve your own punishment sometimes, and
because you, as he says, like we're aware of our own evil potential.
Yeah,
So then, like almost subconsciously, we feel like we aren't worth the effort that we like put towards other people.
Absolutely. But by doing that, we're like less likely to be able to take care of other people because we're in return not taking care of ourselves, which is why he made that a rule.
And then he said, like he makes the connection of like a man who's prescribed like a blood pressure medicine is less likely to take it than he is to give a similar medicine that's prescribed to his dog.
Yeah.
Like he'll make sure his dog has his medicine on a regular schedule, a clock, but his own medicine he'll put off or avoid or forget about.
And for an animal, it's because you don't see, like, we're so much more aware being humans of our like our ability to like understand and cognitively like recognize emotion and all these other things and like our own inherent good and evil, whereas a dog, in any animal in general, is just going off of primal instinct. They're so animalistic. It's like, how can you blame them for something that they're not even conscious of or aware of or like making a definite decision to do? And I think that's what he was saying by that. It's like they're more likely to do it just for an animal because it's like they're not a fucking human being. Like we as human beings know we as human beings are fucking terrible sometimes. Not most of the time. It's crazy. So yeah, that was the one. And I'm still reading this book of letters by Kurt Vonnegut, which I've made it all the way from 40s, 50s, 60s, and now I'm in his letters from the 70s. And it's just, it warms my whole heart. I love Kurt Vonnegut so much.
Yeah. But I'm glad you're getting your way through Jordan Peterson's. I know it's not a book that you just like sit down and read the whole thing.
No.
But it's still like, it's a lot of.
No, I really like it. I've actually, the first one I was a little bit.
I
didn't like it as much.
It takes some time, and like there's gonna be chapters that you'll get into more than others.
This reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, though. He was saying, you need to know where you are so you can start to chart your course. You need to know who you are so that you understand your armament and bolster yourself in respect to your limitations. You need to know where you are going so that you can limit the extent of chaos in your life, restructure order, and bring the divine force of hope to bear on the world. So that reminded me of Alice in Wonderland. Like at first, she didn't know where she was. She went down a rabbit hole and she's like, where am I? What's all this? What's going on? And then she was asked, who are you? And she's like, well, I don't quite know, And he's like, well, and then later she meets the Cheshire Cat, and the Cheshire Cat is like, well, you can go this way or you can go that way. And she's like, well, I don't much want to go amongst mad people. But at one point he says to her, well, everyone's mad here, And he's like, well, if you don't know which way you want to go, then it doesn't matter which path you take. And just like dips off, And it's like, well, that's madness is chaos. And it's like, you don't know where you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you want to go. So it's like, of course, everything surrounding you is chaos and madness. And just like, of course, you've got no direction. And you're certainly not taking care of yourself if you can't figure out even what it is you want to do or who you are. Or that takes reflection. And I don't know. It was pretty cool to me. I thought immediately of Alice in Wonderland. I'm like, oh, shit. That's pretty fucking dope. Don't know if Lewis Carroll intentionally did all that, but that's cool.
I mean, I'm sure there's a similarity to it. It's not a new thought that Jordan had. He's just putting it more into word that people can understand a little bit different.
What's cool? Yeah, it's really brilliant way of putting it all, if you think about it.
Yeah, but no, there's a lot of chapters in that book that resonate with me. This, like almost every chapter, there's something you can pull from it. There's even chapters about like raising children that I don't have kids, but you can still take stuff from it.
Yeah, you were saying.
Like you have kids, so you'll probably take different things from it than me. And
I'm sure I will.
But like it's just, there's always just something.
How old is this guy? 61 years old.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, older than that now.
Because that was 62. Him in 2018, or?
Well, it's 62, so, he's 62, about to be 63.
Oh, man, why are we so bad at math? It was the 60, and you went to 2000, that would be 40, so now you're talking 38, well, 60, but then you had 24 to 38.
Yeah, he'll be 63 this year. But, but he's a really interesting dude, really smart. There's a lot of podcasts and stuff that he's been on. That's where I first started hearing about him. And he's just, the way he's able to communicate thoughts and his ideas and stuff, he's just a master.
He went to school.
Well, he went to school, but
he
also
definitely went to school. No, I'm just being facetious, but he's pretty intelligent for sure. I like the way he explains things. I like the way he thinks. He formatted the book pretty well. He really did.
But yeah, he's
and really cool. We already talked about it, I think, at one point. Maybe we didn't, but I told you I researched the way he did these drawings or what he wanted for the drawings. There was there were certain things he had in mind that he wanted and that were going to be pulled from the internet or something like that he really wanted to whether they were famous photographs or something or paintings or something. And he wanted those at the chapter head of his books. And I don't know if it was due to copyright reasons or something of the sort, or it was suggested to him that an artist had take something like that and then recreate it and make it his thing and put it there. And whoever the guy had done it, I mean, definitely I'd heard him speak and had great respect for Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, pretty much anybody I've heard has had a run-in with him has pretty much said pretty much left with respect for him. There was a interview he did where it was this this female interviewer that was trying to talk circles around him and get him to say things or do things that would make him look bad, and he would just
trying to make him look bad to fuck with him.
Well, because a lot of some of the stuff he says, a lot of people don't agree with him at all and take him as an extremist sometimes, or say that he's misogynistic sometimes, or against women. So like this lady was like trying to paint him as that in this interview with him, and he was like, he like flat out would like everything she tried to like lure him to say something, he would just completely flip the whole conversation on her, and then by the end of it, like she's the one that ends up looking bad.
Well, his thing with women, at least in this chapter, didn't seem derogatory to me at all. It seemed like genuine research, and he was saying basically that men are sort of forever striving for the proper affection or attention or approval of the woman, given that the woman is the one capable of reproducing and keeping that essence alive, in theory. So given that that's the case, and that's something they have the ability to do that we do not, and something that we naturally, instinctually need, we are forever seeking that. And in order to get that, we need a certain amount of approval. Now, it's also statistically known that women have a much easier time of getting that sort of attention or affection from a male than a male will ever have of getting that sort of attention or affection from females in number.
Yeah, instinctively, women don't need as many, like, almost naturally a man wants to be, like, you see it in different animals. Like, the male tries to be with as many females as possible to keep the species alive.
In order to
females just get one man and then their job's done. So it's the same way even now. Like, yeah, we have marriage and you're supposed to be with like one person. That's more of a social thing and less of a natural thing. Where instinctively, like, as a species, until now where we've got it such under control, you just got with as many women as you could
in order to keep your seed alive.
Yeah, and so it's a natural instinct of striving to get the female, and that's a thing that's not just a human thing.
And in the creation myths, whether it was created from the rib of Adam or from the dirt or whatever have you or anything like that, it was the woman in the story who had brought to the attention of the man his
own self-consciousness.
His self-consciousness, which is just, you don't have to take it literally, but you can take it as a figurative, metaphorical, representative guide for how says, like, man is always
like how he said
aware, self-conscious of the fact that they need the woman
and
in order to
how do you word
going.
It was something like, since the beginning of like human, the woman has always been able to make the man feel self-conscious.
And again, you can tell we're being incredibly careful with our words, because our goal here is not to offend or be misogynistic in any sense. This is not what it's about.
Or to be like, religion is the answer.
And religion, and neither of us are Bible fucking thumpers in any way, shape, or form. We do not belong to any organized religion, and consistently, like, there's nothing that, like, so what we're really trying to say is that just inherently, man is aware of the fact that he needs woman.
Oh yeah.
And because of that awareness, and because that awareness, which without woman we would not be aware of, is our need for reproduction. Without a woman, we cannot reproduce. A man would not be aware of reproduction without a woman. And in fact, if we didn't know we had different parts from a woman, we'd all be fucking our own asses, I'm sure. But the reality of the situation is we do know what it does, and we're aware that we need it. And so inherently in us and instinctually, that's why things are the way that they are. And that's why we have the consciousness that we have.
There's that. And then I think the other layer of it is that I feel like as men, outside of that, we just always want to have we want to be needed.
Everyone wants to be needed to a degree or another, but a woman fully is capable of the full circle.
Well, I think women want to be needed less. They want to be wanted. Men want to be needed.
Yes. We need, like, a woman has a natural purpose.
Yeah.
You are built in with a fucking purpose. We have none.
And
we really don't. Anybody can fucking give you what
Yeah.
you need to, but we don't have, and I'm not saying your sole purpose is like,
Yeah.
but you have one built in. If you so choose that, you have,
Yeah.
you
But I
have
mean,
that
like
function.
they have not only being able to give birth, but then there's the whole mother thing. Is like
And-
once a child is born, naturally they don't really need the father. Like now we think like psychologically and stuff, having a male person around is important.
Yes.
But like naturally,
Yeah. The
a
child
mother
doesn't
is
even
really
need
the only.
the
That's
father.
why a lot of animals, there's the mating, and then the either one, the husband, like the father, the male leaves, disappears.
Half the time
or
they're never even back with the same family.
they
Yeah.
get, some creatures kill the male after reproduction.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
praying
Black Widow?
mantises, they kill the male after
Because there's
like,
no purpose for them.
yeah, they've
They've
used
served
their
it.
things, and then they kill them and eat them. So now that they can, give nutrients to the baby they just formed.
Yeah. But you need the mother in order
Yeah.
to basically survive.
So like the mother knows, like the females know they're needed. Females want to be wanted; they don't want to be alone. Which comes back to that whole same story. If you think about that, if you go with the Adam and Eve story,
Yeah.
she gets the apple. That's what cracks open her consciousness. Well, she doesn't want to be alone.
Yeah. Oh,
So she
share this
shares
fucking
it.
knowledge with me. Yeah.
So then now she knows she's not alone. She knows she's now needed. And now she just wants, and she also wants to be wanted. And she won't be that unless he is also aware of these things. So like it puts that whole layer. But then
And
now
Adam
a male,
was very quick to sell her out too. Was like, hey, hold on. Yeah, but she gave it to me. You know. I didn't know anything. I was fucking chilling. I was I had no fucking idea, man. I was chilling, and then, came along, told me about this shit. Fuck, man, I'm sorry.
because one of the few things that a man will put before a woman is their own father.
There you go.
Men do that a lot.
There you go.
And to Adam, in that story, God is the most important person in his life. So as soon as God is upset with him, he tries to make himself look better in God's eyes. Well, actually, it was her. I'm a victim here, which is why then they all, like he said,
Wow,
like, man,
does
you
that
will
fucking sound
you will
familiar?
forever have to work to provide, which is a natural thing. Like men feel like we always feel like we have to provide. We need to be needed. We need to constantly do things. And it's
My
just-
whole life I spent looking at these stories and going, there's no way this can be true. This is bullshit, because there's like, I was reading it in like as if it was a literal story. And I think when I look at these things sometimes in some of these stories and I realize what they're actually trying to say to me, I understand more.
Yeah, so much of like, I always like, I don't read anything that's religious, whether it's Christianity or anything like that. I don't ever really read it as a literal thing. I think as most stories are, whether the mythology, religion, things like that, they're all based out of lessons and morals, and like they're all metaphors for something, like a lesson in life or something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, every type of, so, I mean, you've got not just the Holy Bible, but the Quran. You've got the Bhagavad Gita, or just the Upanishads, or just Hindu scriptures in general. You've got like the Tao. You've got like so many different things that all, in essence and in theory, say generally the same types of things in different ways, in different forms, and
Well, that's general thing with even outside of religion, just like mythology. That when we talk about that Graham Hancock.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And he has that Netflix series.
Yep.
He talks about it in there because they're going all over the world looking for things. And there's like, there'll be, we go down like the Aztec areas, and then you go out to like Indonesia and stuff, or then you go down up to like fucking just all across the world, ancient like ruins, ancient places, and you'll find very similar stories and myths from civilizations that, if where they are in the time and their technology, would never have ran into each other. But yet so many of them have like a very similar story of a divine being comes out of the water and just bestows upon them the knowledge of farming and doing this. And like, understanding how to make farmland and to raise crops.
You're not wrong.
And then there's, this is down in like South America, and then you're over in India, and then there's a very similar story of like in like Japan
but yet
area,
these
like
places have had no communication with each other whatsoever.
They have very
nothing with the outside
similar
world. No communication. No
origin
internet like that.
stories.
No like.
Some being comes out of the water and teaches them this information, and it's like,
And that's similar to what we were talking about too, where you even said that. Not even just like with creation myths and like different stories like that in general, but you even said too, as far as like architecture and science and like the things that certain
Very
cultures were
similar
able
ideas.
to do, and then they're entirely wiped out with no communication. Like for instance, pyramids. We still to this day have no fucking idea how they were able to move the things that they moved and create those the way that they created them. We still just don't quite even comprehend it. So it's like, how do we not know that? How are they able to do it? And then how are they entirely fucking wiped out to the point where we don't have any real, to this day, ability to like, and half the stuff we're finding, they're like, all right, this like, you can literally press these buttons and then it like does this and it like puts this stuff and it's like, and you're like, how, I don't understand how they did this. Like, and it lines up to like stars and stuff. So it's like, these are cultures that might have had interplanetary like communication or something like that we don't even have, and they're entirely wiped out, and we're here thinking like, oh, look at us, we've got like way more science than these other cultures, and we've discovered all these other things and stuff like that, and we think we know all this fucking bullshit, but we might just get wiped out too. Like,
and then it's like that's the idea of like, some people say history is a wheel and it always repeats itself.
I was, after you said that, that's been stuck in my mind.
Are we just on the really big part of a fucking wheel?
Well, the wheel's used for so many things. Karma. You've got yin and yang, even in the I Ching,
order and chaos.
There's yin, yang, old yin.
But so there's just, but like in
Fortuna, where fortune is a wheel, that whole thing.
yeah,
Like
that whole series though, like really one of these days we'll have to just sit down and watch some of it together, because he talks about like that they're like a civilization that has left information, and like everyone having that story of somebody coming from the water and giving the info. It's just somebody that was left from that ancient civilization that in a last like hurrah bestowed what information they had left across the world before they were gone.
even Aldous Huxley, Aleister Crowley, when he did that, like, that 777 book we talked about, and like the Book of the Law and all these other things, at one point or another, he was met by this angel, demon being, whatever it may be, by this name that he gave, and I'm not even going to say it out loud, and that bestowed upon him certain knowledge of certain things that he would then be able to do, and like whether you think it's a drug-fueled frenzy or the man could practice high magic or whatever, regardless of this, like, there's just so many different instances where people have gained insight or then afterward had done either substantially detrimental, like we're talking even Holocaust like things, or
sometimes
incredibly
that,
good
that
things
amount
with that
of
knowledge.
info or recollection on something can just drive you crazy.
And for
the
those of you
idea
who
is
don't even
like-
know, Nazi Party literally like was practicing magic. Like there were people there that like actually like were doing like spiritual practices in a sense in order to acquire certain things and get like they were practicing high magic. Like,
Well, there's a lot,
bad
like a
magic,
lot of
black
like
magic. Like
when you look back in like even like ancient warfare, like a lot of like the story of like Alexander and shit is a lot of his conquests were based off of he thought he was a god.
oh yeah, you're not wrong.
He thought he was the son of a god, so he's a demigod, so I cannot be harmed on my quest as a god, which is what fueled him into his conquests. And yet he was successful for most of it, but he still did it because he thought he was a god.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about it, that's just where perception comes back in. Alexander the Great done these great things. Let's say, right? Let's say you're the opposite side of the people who were fucked up by him, right? That's a whole different type of Alexander the Great.
Yep.
That man just fucked your whole shit up. Every whole bit of your shit.
Yeah, then
he
went,
fucked it up.
Then he went to Egypt and became a pharaoh. Did you know that?
I did not.
Alexander was technically sworn in through Egyptian like ceremonies as a pharaoh, which is why Egypt was under his control. because Egypt was only under control of their pharaoh. So he went there and became a pharaoh, so that he could then turn Egypt against the I can't remember the.
Which is probably not an easy thing to do. You know, you think, oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Egypt, and I'll become a pharaoh.
He marched his army to
pretty
the
much
gates.
Everybody love me, and then I'll do whatever I want.
Like the main gateway into Egypt, marched it up, and then knelt before it, and then like met with their like religious people, and then they just made him into a pharaoh.
It's wild. Like,
but then he proceeded
power
afterwards
of direction
to then
was
go
nuts.
on a crazy like religious journey away from the war to go try to validate his own beliefs that he's a god, and like left his war unstagnant while he went and did this.
So you heard of the book The Secret?
No,
I've never read it. But I've heard it's the same basic principle as the Kabbalion, which is written by the three initiates, which basically is like Hermetic philosophy, which is also around sort of the same general principle where, in theory, if you believe something, it'll happen. Let's say the world is a giant program, not just in general, it's programmed to a certain degree. There's certain vibrations and there's certain everything, including our own physicality, like our neutrons, photons, electrons, just constantly in vibration, making matter. So there's like these constant vibrations and the way that everything works. And so in theory, if you got yourself to believe something, firmly focused your attention on it, knew for 100%, 100 billion%, it's going to fucking happen, it just occurs. Because you know, without a shadow of your doubt, that you were able to make it occur. That's what magic, in theory, is. That's why people said Jesus Christ, Jesus the Magi. He was able to turn water to wine. I firmly believe I'm the Son of God. I firmly believe I can take this water and turn it to wine, and there's not a shadow of fucking doubt in my mind that I am. I was raised to believe this. My mother immaculately conceived me. There's no reason beyond my mind, and I'll prove to everybody. And he spent his whole life trying to prove it and was able to do these amazing fucking things, right? Now, let's assume he's a real person. Let's assume that's true, right? In theory, this idea would state that if you were able to single-pointedly fixate your mind on one particular thing, and that is the sole thing that's going to happen, and no matter what, the only thing that would fuck it up is if you had any doubt, even just the tiniest for a millisecond. But what if it doesn't happen? Well, then it won't. It has to be programmed into the atmosphere. You have to be able to 110% program it right into the atmosphere and know and not even think about it again. You just know it's going to fucking happen, or it's your sole fucking focus and that's all you think about and there's nothing else but that direction. Some say that is why people like, I don't know, fucking Adolf Hitler or all these other people who have done terrible things or incredibly great things, Albert Einstein, anything like that, who have single-pointedly focused their attention on learning, discovering, teaching one particular thing, have come to do these amazing things because they knew in their mind, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they could make it occur. And it's only just that, like, if you pull back for even a second, which is why even people in their mania have been able to do incredible things. Because some people, when they're manic or schizophrenic or any sort of thing where your brain is not... There's no distraction to it, and you firmly believe in your insanity that it's going to occur, and then somehow they're able to do these wild things. It's the same reason a mother can watch her child being crushed by a fucking, I don't know, 7,000-pound vehicle, and you'll see these videos of mothers run up and lift that fucking truck off of their child, which, like, even strong men can barely do, right? All of a sudden, just like, they're like, no fucking way, and lift this fucking shit up. And you're like, what? That's not even physically possible. No, it's not. But guess what? She just programmed it into the atmosphere. She's like, no way my child's getting fucking crushed. I'm picking this fucking thing up. And there it fucking goes. That's a theory. Is it possible to prove it? Very fucking hard, because you would have to just go, I'm going to win the lottery tomorrow, and go to the lottery store and not even think once that you won't. You can't even, not once. You can't go even for a millisecond, that night, that minute, the next day, any second as you're walking in there. You cannot think about it not happening, which is almost impossible to do. Hey, don't think about elephants. God, fuck you.
They're so goddamn cute. Fuck.
It's hard to do.
It is. It is hard to do.
And that is, in theory, what magic is. It's focusing your attention on what it is you want to achieve, making it single-pointedly focused until it happens.
Well, it's been one hell of a Nick's book corner today.
Well, I think we're out of that. We're out of the book corner. We're like, this is the whole
Spiel
thing.
that came from book corner,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's fucking crazy. On a completely different note, do you pay any attention to like rap at all?
I really I don't. I mean, I listen to some, but I'm
heard
not like
about any of the Kendrick versus Drake shit.
no.
So
That's a thing.
Kendrick and Drake are
Not happy
been
with
going
each other.
back and forth for a couple weeks now.
Please explain why.
There's been like the general consensus has been that like there's the big three rappers of our generation: Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick.
Eminem.
Well, he's technically considered before them.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So it's Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole are considered like our generation's big three, like the Tupac Biggies of before, Eminem, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre.
I
that
see.
generation.
I see. Okay.
Our current one has been like the Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick.
Heard.
So J. Cole and Drake did a song and stuff together, and he talks about like, there's the big three, and he's listing off, J. Cole saying Drake and K. Dot were put ahead of me, and like they're both superstars to me. It's the three of us, blah blah blah. But it was just Drake and J. Cole on that song. So Kendrick, a couple weeks later, puts out a verse on a song where he goes, "Fuck the big three, it's just big me," pretty much saying y'all left me out and want to act like we're friends. He's like, "Nah, fuck y'all. I'm just the best there is."
They didn't even offer to put him in the song?
Apparently not. They didn't even reach out, do any of this stuff, and then just made this song trying to act like, oh yeah, we're all close. But he's like, "No, fuck y'all." So he puts this verse out. It's just a verse on somebody else's song. So then J. Cole puts a diss track out back at Kendrick, saying like, pretty much saying like, who are you? Like, you put out a couple good things, but a lot of your shit's been trash. You haven't been doing shit. Like, you coming out of nowhere trying to act like you're big, but you ain't doing anything. J. Cole then apologizes like a week later, publicly for doing it, takes the song down, backs out of the whole like argument.
Okay.
Drake drops a diss track on Kendrick like another week or so later after that. Then a week later, nothing from Kendrick. Drake drops a second one, being like, "Where the fuck you at?" Like saying all this shit about him. Kendrick has now, in the past 3 days, dropped 3 diss tracks.
Let me hear him, and then we'll cut back to us.
I'll come back. I can literally just...
We'll see you in a second. They really a lot of back and forth, and I had no idea they were just releasing stuff today. Even
Yeah, it was
at least 2 of them
like
today.
yesterday. Well, they were yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
So yeah, like Drake dropped his at like almost midnight, and
They did say,
literally
like, 18 hours
20
ago or something.
minutes later, Kendrick drops that like the response, and then a couple hours later drops the last one we listened to. But in that one he listens, the last one, he goes on to mention things that Drake said in his one that he put out earlier that day.
Yeah.
Which means he wrote that
They
whole
got
song.
so personal. I mean, they involved like members of each other's families and stuff, and like then Kendrick's writing a letter to each one of his family members, like even his son. Like I mean, it's fucked up, but it's like in theory.
That's what a lot of these things go to though, because
I
like
don't know.
it starts out like talking shit, like I'm better, but as soon as one person takes it a little too far, it just opens the fucking floodgates.
Well, and you know what you've done here though too is now these kids hopefully don't hear this shit one day.
Oh, they will.
And that's fucked up. It's fucked up that they're gonna have to because their dads decide that they want to just be tough in the rap game and let's call each other
but then there's
pedophiles
always,
over the
like,
thing and fucking make our
but now
kids
there's, like,
question everything.
Big
and
question is like,
I don't agree with it.
if anything comes out saying that anything that Kendrick is saying about Drake is true, then we've got P. Diddy version 2.0.
Oh yeah. Well, and the thing about this is, not my chair, not my problem.
Yeah, but it's still, but it's still a shitty thing because like if it ends up being true, that means that then there's more people that were victimized by somebody.
Yeah.
That's where it sucks.
Hoping that's not a thing. I don't like this pedophile stuff, but it's
I
just
know.
like, it's so wild to hear people just disparaging not only each other, but like now you're bringing children into it and kids and names and addresses.
And like Kendrick,
and
like so, Drake's son
crazy.
Adonis was like unknown until a couple years ago when Pusha T did a diss on Drake called "The Story of Adonis," and it's literally as how Drake's son became known to the world because he had kept him secret. So Pusha T brought it to the public eye. Like, you have a son that you don't even talk about. You don't even mention.
Well, maybe he doesn't fucking want to or need to. That's not part of his rap career as his son. He doesn't need to talk about his son. You don't have to bring your children in.
And a lot of things, he was like, you don't even like, you actually don't even support him. Like, you have this son you don't even take care of. Like, it was like the angle he took on. He's like, you have this son, you hide him from everyone, you act like he doesn't exist, and you continue on with your life as if he doesn't. So now, like, Drake has his son in his life, and he's around and stuff and doing this. So Kendrick, in the one where he was like writing all the letters, one of the letters is to an unnamed woman or girl that he says, I'm sorry your father has hid you as well. I'm sorry he has to have another hidden child. So pretty much stating that you have another child that you've hid and you don't take care of and you've ignored. While you claim one, now you're not claiming this other. Like,
I guess I don't know enough about it, but I will say that listening to it all, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and like they're all like 6-7 minutes long of them just going.
It sounds like they took a lot of time and energy to disparage the other person or the other person's family, and that's just a wrong direction of energy, and I don't like it.
And like how I said, like how like J. Cole originally put one out and then like apologized. The like general consensus is everyone's like, we understand now, J. Cole, you knew how crazy Kendrick was and you're just staying away.
Yeah, you know, he's the only one with nuts enough to just go, you know what, I'm just gonna not do this. I'm sorry I said some bad things, but you know what, I'm not trying to do this. I couldn't sleep over this. Like, I respect that. I respect that more than trying to go,
more people
my
are like talking family. Like, oh, like, how could you back out of a diss? And everyone's like, actually, maybe you did the smart thing. Because this shit's getting fucking out of hand.
Yeah, that's out of hand for sure.
But, so yeah, I mean, that's the stuff, like, I listen to a lot of rap and do a lot of, like, reaction content and stuff on YouTube. So a lot of, like, those kind of people are listening and reacting and commenting on it and stuff. And it's just, like, been, like, the big news in the rap news recently.
Yeah.
So, there hasn't been a lot of music
I can't profess
out,
to be a big member of the rap game.
Yeah.
I know you might think by looking at me, hey, this guy probably grew up somewhere in a real tough neighborhood or had a real hard life. Really just probably some
I
native
thought that just because
thug.
you're ugly, but I thought maybe you got bullied.
Well, I was saying because the tattoos, people are like, oh, you look like, but these aren't these types of tattoos. Look how peaceful these tattoos are. Look, don't I look like I'm just like such a...
You look like
I always wonder. You know how like no, shut the fuck up. You know how like some people they'll have like you'll see them and they'll have like neck tattoos or like face tattoo or like these certain menacing looks to them.
You love them,
and you like look at these people and you look well they a lot of times they are, but like you look at these people and you judge them. You like because you know your brain you look at these and you go oh this you think you know an aspect of the person based off their tattoos. I always kind of wondered what mine convey, like what my when people look at me, like what my tattoos convey.
I think a lot of yours, if you look at yours, like after a second or two, people probably just assume you're a skater because you have like that skater style, where it's kind of sporadic. Like there's not like a theme to a whole thing. It's just like everything has its own meaning, but they're kind of just like patchworked.
Yeah, very patchy.
Which is a very like skater style. Where it's
rather than like be all connected and everything. There's
like how mine's gonna have a sleeve of all like the same idea and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that skater, like almost hipster before hipster got a weird connotation to it. Like you just get little things and they just kind of add up to a sleeve.
I've had some people tell me that like based off of first appearance, all my tattoos come across as like very not even, but like symmetrical in a sense where like everything just sort of looks like it flows to a point where I look like someone who would either just like meditate or would like
But again, that's that hippie style.
Yeah,
that's
what
a lot
I'm saying.
of that like patchwork. But
I never heard the skater one, but I heard the hippie one. Patchwork, I assume like more like sailor tattoos. When I hear like, oh, they've got the stamp art like type tattoos, I think like sailor type things and like stuff like that. But
no,
yeah, for sure.
That's what I have. Mine always funny. People see like, oh, you have tattoos and stuff, and then like they realize it's fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon and
like this one's based off of fucking Train lyrics. And the one on my leg is a memorial for my brother, like stuff like that.
Still think that guy's voice is awesome though.
The one on my wrist is fucking musical lyrics from like fucking Tick Tick Boom, which is a musical about the writer of Rent.
Oh yeah.
So like, shit like that. Like my tattoos aren't hard, brother.
Mine aren't hard either.
This is the first video game I played. This is fucking one of my favorite musical songs. It resonated with me. This is based off of one of my favorite band's songs. And my brother died.
Oh,
that's my tattoos.
That's a sad thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, all my tattoos have a meaning to them.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So I definitely have unique tattoos as well. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I like. I can appreciate when someone has like just the even when people get different birds or different flowers or different things tattooed on, even though it's different, it's still the same. Mm-hmm. You know when something's like similar. Like your tattoos, I look at them like I don't really like. I definitely don't know anybody who looks like you with tattoos. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's very many people who look like me with tattoos. So it's like, that's how you know you have unique work. And I think that's the main important thing.
I literally, like this one, my artist, I gave him the idea and I'm like, here's what idea I have. Here's the budget I have. Do your work. And this is what they drew up. Like this was just based off of.
But you know how like you'll see someone and go, oh, they look like so and so the way their tattoos are.
They got the same tribal.
They got those
the fucking flower, the fucking anchor, the fucking like same general. Like you go on fucking Pinterest, see 700 of the same one. And when
one of the funniest tattoo references,
the fucking koi fish that people get.
I have a little bit of a koi fish, like a rose thing, but like it's a little, I know. No, but one of the funniest tattoo references things that I heard is like where, that butterfly's about to be a fucking pterodactyl, bro. Like when they're referencing a girl who got like a butterfly, like
so one of the jokes in with my family is like, I heard someone say like they're gonna get a Tweety bird on their boob, so when they're older they'll have Big Bird.
Oh. That's fucking cool.
And then like my mother has like a unicorn on like her like hip. When she got pregnant, she said it was a rhino because it would fucking stretch when she got pregnant.
Yeah. Well.
With like the Tweety bird on the boob, so it turns into fucking Big
That's
Bird.
Funny as shit. I know one of my buddies had Daffy Duck with like one of those push old school lawnmowers that like tread and cut the grass up, and he put it like right above his pube line, so when he would shave his pubes, it looked like Daffy Duck mowed his grass. Like
you get a couple minutes of Mike to your time. I have to run to the restroom.
Oh,
so entertain the people.
You got to leave.
I'm leaving.
Well, it's okay. We can say goodbye. No, I got to pee as well, and I was just gonna go pee outside.
Hurry up.
But okay, he'll be safe. Well, anyway.
You left me a couple minutes. It's your turn to shower.
That's true, man. It feels intimidating just being left on the camera, and you don't even know what to say or talk about. And I don't have my partner here, but. Guess all I want to say to you guys is this has kind of been a really fun thing. Zane and I talked about doing this. I know we originally, like in our first episode, we kind of explained a little bit about this throughout, but like Zane posed this idea to me. It was like a concept we had talked about when we were really good friends working for a company together, and we occasionally for that company would be able to go do some other work on the weekends, and we were painting at the time, and we were sitting down talking about maybe doing a podcast one day or something that he might want to do, and we were like, man, we just kind of talk and we bullshit about random stuff, and before you know it, we're off like on these really deep topics or something that's just completely hilarious. So what if that was like our podcast? And it just like started with that idea, and now here we are, and we're like 10 some episodes into doing this, and it's wild to think like now there's, headsets and microphones and recording equipment and cameras and lights, and I'm here with my best friend Zane doing this, and here he is. He's back. He's coming back. And it's just a fun thing. I was just telling him about how just a little bit about how this even started, and then before you know it, we're here and doing it. And
it's been fun. Ideas that finally
just a few things coming to fruition over time, and it's weird where life takes you.
Yeah. And it definitely has bumps in it, and so trying to figure this out and fitting it into life has not been the smoothest, but...
No, life for us has not been the smoothest in general, but throughout it all, even in times where you and I have not agreed about everything 110%, we as true friends have managed to stay very, very close to each other and support each other every bit of the way.
Yeah.
Which is important.
And said, I'm happy to be doing it with you. And I said, I know stuff can get frustrating, but I think texting is a hard way to communicate stuff. I think that's where it's hard to, I think, put certain intonations of what we're trying to say through text.
Yeah.
It comes across wrong.
Well, it's like that with me for so many fucking people too.
So I think our text earlier, because we were discussing like video scheduling and stuff and how we're a little bit behind on the podcast episodes, you guys, by the time you get these, we'll be back on schedule. Like the last two were a little behind. And like through text, it was just like, it sounds a lot more like, the fuck you doing? You're fucking this up. But in reality, it's just like, yo, we just need to figure it out. We'll be all right. But like through text, it's hard to like put that kind of intonation on it where it just comes across as like, figure this shit out. You're fucking it up.
Well, it's not even that. And I didn't even use any language like that.
I know.
But I mean, like the way, so when I
though.
talk through text or when I write through text, I'm very much like, I try to not use too many unnecessary words, but like I state things very factually where it's like, all right, so we're behind 2 episodes. You know, originally this was your idea to be posted on a schedule. We're behind 2 things. If you need help with certain stuff, you're going to need to let me know so I can help you out. Whereas like he's reading it and it will come across as like, well, he's really telling me I'm fucking my shit up here. Maybe a little bit's resonating with him. Maybe it's not. Maybe it seems like, but it's like, my goal is just to state, okay, this is what we said we were going to do. This is what's happening. This is what's occurred. And try to like, I don't try to put too much emotion into it. So a lot of times when I'm stating these things or I'm stating, this is my text message with anybody I talk to, even my mom sometimes or anybody, my family, like, because I'm trying not to put too much emotion into it and just say what's occurring or what I want or what this is and just speak facts. It just comes across as me being like short with people or like, you know what I mean? An asshole when in reality, I'm just trying to like, here it is.
And I said, like, so I try not to like take it too much, but it's also like I said, a lot of things he says, like they are just facts and like it's stuff that's already on my mind. So then, like you said, it resonates a little heavy. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I know we're behind. I'm fucking stressed. I'm trying to figure this shit out, figuring out timing on shit. And then he's like, we're behind. I'm like, I fucking know we are, man. Yeah. And then like we had some issues with my editing program like fucking up, which is why like the audio stuff was behind for a bit. And it's just like, I know it is. And it's like out of my fucking control, man. I'm trying to figure this out.
But we're here and we got it. And everything will be out really, really soon.
And one last thing, if you aren't already, we have a second channel. No one asked. We kind of just do fun, dumb games and stuff over there.
Please go like, subscribe. Every bit of that counts for us. It's like actually
no one asked. I'll try to put the link in the description down below. Again, appreciate everybody who comes by.
When you're typing it in, it's no one ASKD.
Yep.
My friends were looking it up earlier. They typed in ASKED. It didn't work. It's one ASKD.
I'll put the name on the thing here. I'll put the link in the description below. I appreciate everybody. And those listening on audio, I will try to put a link with the description in the audio version as well.
Again, this has been Slightly Serious with Nick and Zane.
We're a little bit more on the serious side today.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool.
Regardless, say hello to your mother for me.
And tell somebody you love them.
Goodbye.
Bye.